Today we're going to be cooking up a dry-aged USDA prime ribeye using the reverse sear technique. This technique is very time consuming but ensures even doneness throughout the steak. Take your steaks out of the fridge up to an hour before cooking. Pat your steaks dry to remove all the unwanted moisture. Today I'm using just salt, but you can use whatever seasonings you like. Make sure that the thicker the steak, the more seasonings you add. You're going to want to season around the edges of the steak so that way you can dip up the sides and ensure the seasoning is all over the steak. Let the steak sit in the seasoning for at least 10 minutes. Next, you're going to want to take a wire probe and insert it into the thickest part of the steak. If you don't have one, then use an instant ready thermometer. Preheat your oven at 225 or 250 degrees Fahrenheit and place your steaks inside. I do want to mention nothing in this video is sponsored. They're just great products I like to use. Get yourself some butter. Make sure to cut 2 knobs per steak. I had 3 steaks, so I cut 6. Then get yourself some rosemary. I chose to take it off the stem, or you can just keep it on. And do the same thing with some thyme, and that's pretty much it. So this is all I chose to use for the aromatics, but you can use anything that you like. Once your steaks have hit 115 Fahrenheit internal, they're done. Mine took about 30 to 45 minutes. And when you take it out of the oven, they won't look that good. So that's why we're going to give them a sear. And to go with the steak, I made 3 sides. One was roasted veggies. The other was green string beans, and the last one was roasted potatoes. Let me know in the comments if you guys want a video on that. While that's happening, get a cast iron or a stainless steel skillet over the highest heat possible. Wait for the pan to smoke, then add the oil to prevent the oil from burning. I would highly recommend using avocado oil. It has a neutral flavor and a very high smoke point. Once the oil is nice and hot, lay the steak away from you to prevent the oil from splattering on your hands. You don't want that, it really hurts. And when you place the steak in the pan, make sure you hear a very nice sizzle going on. If you don't, then either your oil is not hot enough or your pan's not hot enough. Just take the steak out and redo the process. And if you want a better crust, when you place the steak in the pan, either place some chef's presses on top of it or press down so that way it makes a better contact with the bottom of the pan, allowing for a better crust. And you can place some aromatics on top of your steak. It'll start to infuse its flavors into it. Make sure to remove them once you flip the steak. After about 2 to 3 minutes or until a golden brown crust is formed, flip your steaks. Once the crust on the other side has formed, turn down the heat and add 4 knobs of butter. At this point, you can add all your aromatics into the butter. Once the butter starts to bubble, begin to baste your steaks. The butter should be nice and brown. If your butter turns black, that means your pan is too hot and you're burning your butter. The last step is to render your fat cap. I chose to do this at the end, or you can do it in the start of the cook. It's really up to you. And let the steaks rest for at least 10 to 15 minutes. You can add some butter on top if you like, and that's pretty much it. Enjoy the final product. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to go like it and consider subscribing to me. And here's a little beet roll to finish things up.